Good afternoon, everybody. This is Phil Gibson with the Unity Group at Keller Williams, and I'm with Karmen Burchett today. And I am excited to talk with her today. She's from Synergy Property Solutions and is going to be talking to us a little bit about roofing materials for different types of roofs. So, Karmen, take it away for us. Tell us a little bit about Synergy.
Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate you inviting me to come speak about roofs and giving us this opportunity to educate homeowners and building owners about roofing materials and the roofing process. A little bit about Synergy. Synergy has been around since 2019. Synergy is co-owned by Lindsay Cassell and Shane Guerra, and it is woman-owned and minority-owned. And Shane and Lindsay have been Colorado natives their whole life. I mean, I guess that's what natives mean. You live here your whole life. And their families have also lived here for a long time. So they are very familiar with Colorado and they love it here and they're not going anywhere. We are local. And so they used to work together back in the day, and the company they were working for, they really thought that they could do a better job branching out and creating their own company. They're entrepreneurs, and they wanted to do it better than their competitors. They saw an opportunity to provide a better service for people, and they started Synergy Property Solutions. And so there are over, I think it's 5,000 roofing companies in Colorado. That's a lot. And so some of them are big, some of them are small, some of them are fly by night, some of them are storm chasers. Some of them have different niches. And so I think it's really important to highlight that Synergy is in the top 12% of roofing companies in the state, which says a lot for a smaller roofing company competing against companies that have over 100 employees, right?
Sure.
It's our integrity that sets us apart, and that is how we do business. We care about our customers, and we treat them like family. So Synergy Property Solutions, we are a commercial and residential restoration roofing company and exterior experts. Okay. In addition to roofs, we also do gutter repairs, siding, painting, and windows, because hail does not only hit your roof, it also hits, other parts of your home. And so we have kind of offered these other services because, like I said, hail doesn't only hit your roof, it hits other parts of your home. And as a homeowner, vetting a roofing company or vetting a subcontractor can be a pain in the butt and can be a little bit of a headache. And so we created a synergy of all of these services to make it easier on the homeowner. In addition to those services, we are also offering solar right now. We just partnered with Freedom Solar. We have an exclusive partnership with them. This also gives homeowners who may have wear and tear, who aren't looking to replace their roof because of hail damage. They're replacing their roof because they need to, and they're looking for more green solutions and different options, or just financial options. And so, we're your one-stop shop for all of your property solution needs. That's our motto. We package these things together to make it easier on the homeowner. So that's just an overview of what we do and how we operate, and
I think you mentioned that your owners have been in the roofing business for a long time too, right? I mean, it isn't something that they just picked up. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So combined, they have over 20 years experience in the roofing industry. And I think that also gives us another advantage. And that was something I was going to speak about. I know we wanted to talk about the focus of Synergy.
Sure.
And so here at Synergy, the two areas of focus that we are excelling in is customer advocacy and commercial coatings. And so our bread and butter is residential work. And so we pride ourselves on being the homeowner's advocate, okay? It's really important for us to make sure that the homeowner understands the process, understands what's going on with the roof. I mean, not all people want to know, the details and the data and things like that. And we certainly don't have to go into that, but we try to give context to the situation. And especially when it comes to the claims process, when filing a claim with your insurance company. Like I said, we've been around for 20 years. We have a lot of experience in how people do things differently. And so over the years, we've just seen certain things that we want to make sure that homeowners are being awarded the correct amount to get their roof replaced. And so, yeah, in addition to customer advocacy, I would say our other focus is commercial coatings. And with that being said, commercial coatings are imperative to a lot of sustainability solutions in the States. We understand that the economy in the state is moving towards more implementation of green policies. And so, we're ready to jump on that train and move forward with the state and comply and help give our customers options, green options that can help them save money, help reduce their carbon footprint, be more friendly to the environment. And so commercial coatings is where it's at, and we're trying to break into that market. We see a large need for commercial coatings, especially with the Green Roof Initiative that passed in 2017. And also the city and county of Denver right now are working on plans to go net zero. And there's a really big push for renewable energy, specifically for solar. And coatings are a sister to solar. It increases, it maximizes the ability for energy efficiency and solar production. So
No,
we
that
see
makes
an
sense.
opportunity there, and are trying to jump on board.
Hey, let's unpack a couple things that you said there.
Okay.
One thing is the customer advocacy. It's good to hear you say that. So, just in simple terms, does that mean that we Synergy, if let's say I have, to a point you made about during the overview, if I have hail damage and I'm filing a claim or have filed a claim to my insurance company, does Synergy, if I've chosen Synergy as my partner to help me, repair my roof or do a complete restoration, whether it's the roof, the gutters, whatever that you guys are involved with, do you come out to the home when the the insurance adjuster comes out, or is that the kind of advocacy we're talking about?
100%. That's the kind of advocacy we're talking about.
Okay.
It's very important to the homeowner and us to make sure that they tell us when the adjuster is coming out. We want to be there alongside the adjuster to also help educate them, because not all adjusters have been in the industry for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have any roofing certifications to do an inspection. And
Right.
so we like to be there to pinpoint blemishes, damage, different types of scarring that you would see on the roof. So when they do their report for the insurance company, they have that information. And so when we do our report to kind of rebuttal or just do a further investigation, that maybe some of the information that we pointed out that the adjuster is noting, because there are certain things like in certain municipalities, you have to have different types of materials based on codes. And so if we can say, oh, by the way, I see in your report, you've written down this, that, and the other. I just want to let you know in this particular area, they're requiring X, Y, and Z. And I don't see that on your report. You may want to include that as well.
Yeah. Well, and I would think in the area that you mentioned in the area of specialty that you guys have in the coding arena, that there aren't many adjusters out there that probably clearly understand what you guys do as it pertains to these codings. Would that be an accurate statement?
Yes, yes, I would say that's accurate. And I would say in addition to that, most adjusters are typically the codings are going to be for commercial properties. Those adjusters that we're talking about are more on the residential side.
Okay.
Typically, when you have an adjuster go out, when you're looking at a commercial property, you typically have a roofing company come out and do an adjustment or kind of see what's going on with the roof. And that's a 52-point inspection. There's an actual list of things that we have to, mark off and determine if it's bad or good, or if there's damage or whatever the issue may be.
So on a commercial property or even a flat roof residential property where these coatings would apply, does that do you get damage on the actual roofing on a flat roof from hail? I mean, could it actually puncture the spot or do something where you're going to get the kind of damage that you might on a sloped roof or a graded roof?
What was the last part? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
On a graded roof, like the traditional roof you might see on a residential home.
Yeah, you can get similar damage. I mean, it's definitely the same damage. I wouldn't necessarily say the same damage because it's based on the material, right?
Right.
So if you have a class 4 shingle on a residential home and you get 1.75 inch hail, class 4 is top of the line shingle. There's a lot of rubber in those materials. A lot of shingles are made equally, right? There's not a whole lot of variance between shingles. So if you get a class 4 from one company, it's basically the same from another company, right? And so because there's a lot more rubber and because there's a lot more layers within that shingle material, that shingle itself, 1.75 may not have any damage to it. I can't remember the rating right now. I think asphalt class 4 shingles probably have up to, I think they have a little bit more room in hail size before there's any damage seen at all.
Sure.
But it also depends on wind speeds. You may have a smaller piece of hail and, if it's coming in hot, then the force is gonna cause more damage, right? So it depends on a couple variables. But if you look at that asphalt shingle compared to a commercial building that's just used an acrylic coating, you're definitely going to see the damage more so on that acrylic because it's thin, it's water-based, it's worn out and it's weathered, and so it cracks more easily. The durability is just not there. Yeah. So it depends on the roofing system that's there.
Okay.
Before you can really determine the damage, I would say.
Okay. No, that makes sense. So as an organization, I'm assuming you guys, you have all your insurance and you're a licensed roofing contractor. I think you alluded to that in your overview.
100% licensed, insured, and bonded. We have a 5-year warranty on our workmanships. We pull all the permits for all of our jobs. And we work specifically here in Colorado. If there was a job that we went out to in Wyoming, we would have to get licensed, insured, and bonded in that state.
Okay.
However, in addition, on a side note, coatings you do not need a permit for. So that's typically when we go out of state, when our services leave the state, is to do coating projects for agricultural or large
Commercial,
mechanical, commercial properties, cars, whatever you have, whatever they're doing inside large facilities. I was going to say agriculture. I was going to say hemp, but that's part of agriculture.
Yeah.
And so, coatings you don't need a permit for. However, we typically stay within the state. But if someone didn't have a coder, a certified coder, and they needed someone and they asked us to come out and do a job, we would certainly do that.
That makes sense. How about the people that install the roofs for you? Do they work for Synergy or are they subcontracted?
So we have one crew that we've been working with since the very beginning, and we subcontract them. They do a really good job. They are up to our standards, and we trust their work. We have several PMs who are contracted through Synergy, who go out and make sure that those jobs are up to par, up to our standards, making sure that they have the materials. So we're constantly working with that subcontractor, but they're just subcontractors of Synergy.
Yeah, sure.
So we have one crew that we trust and rely on.
Yeah, sounds like a familiar aspect. The old roof, there's always a question about where does the old roof go? Do you guys bring in do you have a truck? Do you bring in a roll off? How does that whole process work? And then when you're done installing the roof, the big question that we get from our clients is cleanup. I think you mentioned this in some of these, flash in the pan organizations that are out there that come in after a hailstorm, their cleanup may not necessarily be great. I mean, you're still finding, nails and all sorts of stuff, or, in the case of coatings, maybe you're finding globs of coating sitting in your property. How do you guys handle all that stuff?
Right. So for debris and cleanup and waste of the shingles, that's very important to us. We cover all bushes around the property. We do not throw shingles into the yard. That's big no-no for us. I mean, that's just harder work for us. And unless it's a property where we can't get a truck up close to the roof, would be the only reason that we would throw in the yard. And typically we don't disperse the shingles all over. We create a pile to reduce the amount of debris and nails all over the yard. My boss, Shane, has embedded into all of our project managers to walk the property every single day for nails. We're not perfect.
Sure.
But we try to make sure to clean up every single day after the job. And we have to pull permits for the roll-offs. And so it depends on where the house is located, how big the house is there access to the home that the property owner is going to allow us to set up our truck or the roll-off to, dispose of the shingles properly. So I'd say there's a couple different variables in that equation, but typically we try to be right up next to the house and make sure that we're just tossing those shingles in there instead of all over the yard.
Sure.
And yeah, we walk the property every single day and scan the yard several times because we're not sloppy. And back to that integrity, back to building our name for ourselves. You know, that's what sets us apart, is those little going above and beyond on the property that sets us apart, because most roofing companies, like you mentioned, are throwing the shingles everywhere. They're dropping nails everywhere, and it's just not a good look. And so you know, we wouldn't want that done in our yard. We wouldn't want someone to just leave a mess. You know, people are still living in their home. People are still walking their dogs, and their kids are, you know, still playing in the yard when we leave. So we're very respectful when it comes to clean up of the property. And last thing I'll say is, unfortunately, there's no good way to dispose of shingles other than just tossing them in the landfill.
Right.
Which I will say, outside of shingles, that's a benefit to coatings, is there is no tear off. So we are not contaminating the landfill with asphalt shingles or, you know, other chemicals that can be damaging. The coatings go right on top of the material that's already there. So that's a plus for the coatings.
Sure. Last couple questions on, let's say you're on a roof and you find some material, say some base material that's rotted, or you need to do some replacement. Do you guys take care of that replacement? And then second part of the question, let's say by accident, to your point, things happen and some damage occurs to the home. You know, maybe a gutter gets bent, a ladder fell on it, or, you know, there's damage to something on the siding. Does Synergy take care of those issues, or kind of what's the approach on that?
100%. If we damage a gutter, we damage anything, we immediately take pictures and talk to the homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's been one instance where, I mean, when we go and do the inspection, we take over 200 photos of the property. You know, we want to make sure that we're getting the full picture. We want to make sure we're doing a thorough job. That also protects us in a situation where, you know, homeowners still sometimes can, you know, be worried about their valuable things in their yard. And so having those pictures are super important, because I know one time someone thought that, you know, we left some paint or something on a thing. And, you know, luckily we have those pictures to kind of back us up and say, because we said all roofing companies are not created equal, right? Not all homeowners are created equal either. And so sometimes people want to kind of push the limits and, you know, get other damages taken care of that were there before us. And
Sure.
so regardless, if something happens on the property, we are immediately reaching out to the homeowner and letting them know something happened. And that's, I mean, we're insured, we're bonded, we're licensed, and so we have insurance. We're liable for that damage. We have insurance. We can cover those kind of costs. So,
Yeah.
you know, we don't hide behind incidents. You know,
Sure.
things happen all the time.
And then on if you find, say, like some rotting wood, or, you know, a section of siding that, you know, maybe is near the roof. I know there's some roofs where you see that. Is that stuff you guys can take care of while you're up there, you know, working on the roof, or how does that work?
So if we were to go in and do just a normal repair, let's say that homeowner had us come out to look at the roof, it's leaking, whatever's happening, and we go to inspect the problem, right? And we begin to sniff around, and sometimes we'll do core samples, which is there's a device that kind of cuts down in between the different layers to kind of get an understanding of what's happening with the roof, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't always do that, but sometimes we will do that, and we don't even have to always do that to determine if the asphalt or the shingles are rotting. You can see it, you can peel it up, you can see what's going on, and so sometimes beyond further inspection, if we find damage that the homeowner didn't realize was there, we will immediately bring that to their attention. And then at that point, we can have a conversation about what they would like us to do. Sometimes that can be extra added costs. That can be very expensive for a homeowner out of pocket. And so, we try to give them several options and just inform them of what's going on, and, really find the solution that fits their needs.
Sure. That's great. Well, that's all the questions I had. Karmen, is there anything you'd like to provide here at the end, just to give any additional insight on Synergy or anything that we might have missed?
Well, I would say a couple things regarding the coatings that we didn't touch upon.
Okay.
Is that they're specific to commercial buildings and flat roofs. And so in some instances, if you are a good candidate and we do an inspection for residential property, like I have a lady who's called in and she's having a lot of heating and cooling issues. She's just losing a lot of heat. Her house was built in 1938. There's just no insulation in those homes. The standards and the building materials weren't the same back then. And so she's been trying to find a way to insulate her house better. And it's a flat roof. So a coating product is going to be a good fit for her. We typically don't do coatings for residential properties. And that's something we can have a conversation with someone about if they really wanted to do coatings. But like I said, it's for commercial buildings, flat roofs. It's a really, really great system because of many reasons. It's eco-friendly. It's cost-effective for the building owner. There's financing options through a state program called CPACE. It's easier installation. There's a tax deduction. I mean, this coating product is amazing. It's super water resistant, hail resistant. It's energy efficient. I mean, you're putting, it costs less money than a traditional roofing system to put on. And then additionally, you're saving money through your energy bill and you're extending the life of your HVAC system. I mean, what's not to love? It's an amazing product. If you go to, there's just several different companies who have coating products. One company in particular, they have a display. If you go to one of these roofing conventions, they have literally a cardboard box that they put the coating in, right? And they just have little rubber duckies sitting in there. It's very water resistant. I mean, it dries underwater. You can't get more water resistant than that. Yeah. So, I would say last thing is we do free inspections, like most roofing companies. We would love an opportunity to earn your business, earn your trust, come out, talk to you about your property. If you're having any roofing issues, and let us help you make some educated decisions on how to move forward with that.
That's awesome.
And that's all I have.
Good. Well, thank you,
Yeah.
Karmen.
Thank you so much,
for
Bill.
the opportunity to
welcome.
hear more about Synergy and the areas that you guys specialize in. I think it's can provide not only our customers, but some of the commercial, even the multifamily buildings that are out there, and any other commercial building with these flat roofs. I would encourage anybody who watches this video, reach out to Karmen. We'll be providing her contact information on the trailer of this video, and I'm sure she'd be excited to get out there and talk with you about all the different remedies they have for your roofing needs. Once again, this is Phil Gibson with the Unity Group at Keller Williams. This is the Unity Thread, and we're here to provide you information, make connections to local community businesses so that you have somebody to reach out to and trust for your needs and solutions. Thanks again, Karmen. Appreciate it. And everybody have a good day.